Good morning. I thought I'd throw up a pretty quick video just on preparation I've been going through for this hurricane that's coming down on the East Coast. Um, I'm sure many of you out there would probably consider yourselves preppers. I'm not one of these militant preppers who's going to plan for the end of the world, because in my opinion, if that ever comes, really what's the point of being one of the only few people left in a world that's basically destroyed? I'm more the optimistic prepper, where I'm just trying to keep my family taken care of until the disaster is over. Typically I'm thinking more like power outages. Anytime the power goes out, that's typically when people, kind of lose it. And most people don't ever plan for stuff like that. They just kind of sit back and hope for the best. But yeah, I live out in the sticks, and one of the things that I looked for when I bought my new house was I wanted power lines that ran underground. So I'm very happy. Plus, they're an eyesore, in my opinion. Having power lines come up to your house and then big old line running into the side of your house. It's all underground, and I was very happy with it. But about 6 months into owning my house, we had a big windstorm, and my house was one of the first ones in the area to go out. And I'm like, how could this be? I have underground power lines, but what I didn't know was they're only underground for about 2 miles, and they pop right up into overhead ones. And a tree fell on the set of lines that fed my house, so I was without power for about a week, and it was in the colder months. And anyway, luckily I do have a small generator. It's basically you can run 215 amp lines off of it. It's enough to run my freezer and refrigerator, which is really all I'm really concerned about. But I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk about the things that I do to prepare for these natural disasters. Man, this new phone, I don't know why it keeps getting blurry like this. I'm not even really moving. Although I think I look a little better blurry. So maybe I'll just leave it blurry like this. But anyway, this storm's supposed to hit the East Coast Thursday morning. I think maybe late Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Like I said, I have a generator that I always make sure it's in tip-top shape. I'm sure many of you know. Things like generators that you don't use very often, it's very important to run them dry, so there's no gas sitting in them, because gas does go bad. So I always make sure to, oh, there we go, I'm clear again. I always make sure that I run it dry, so that it's ready to go the next time. I keep it obviously inside, not outside somewhere where moisture can get at it. And I keep enough gas on hand to last me, at least a week. And I don't run the generator 24/7. I basically let it run until the freezer and the refrigerator are back up to temperature. And because they're insulated, they can sit for hours until they start to thaw out. So I'll run it on a cycle. And then I'll also run a drop cord off of it to charge cell phones and things like that. But besides gasoline, I always have, what do I have? I think I have 4 big gas cans. Trying to think of what size they are, but they're massive, and I keep stave oil in them so that gas doesn't go bad. Big thing I ran into last time when the wind was out, and I didn't really think about it, is, I'm not on public water or. Jeez, this is so annoying. Come on back. I'm not on like public water or public sewer, so I remember flushing the toilet a couple times. I'm a contractor. I didn't even think about it. After the tank's empty, you don't flush the toilet anymore. So I now keep just toilet bowl water on stock. I actually use the like milk cartons because it's easy to dispense as opposed to having it in big like 5-gallon buckets. But I have about, I would literally say like 40 like milk jug cartons of water on hand. It's not drinkable water. I mean, it's been sitting in these things forever. But basically, I'll fill the tanks up so that we can at least flush the toilets and stuff when the power's out. That's a huge thing. Not being able to go to the bathroom, but I keep about 40 of those on hand. I also keep drinking water on hand. We always have, 5 cases of water, and we rotate through it because that's pretty much all I drink besides my trusty Monster. That's my coffee. I don't really drink coffee. Anyway, so I keep the drinking water on hand, and as if you've watched any of my old videos, I'm really into old things, so I have a ton of oil lamps and candles all on hand, and there's at least 1 or 2 in every room, and they're always full, and with fresh wicks and lighters. I buy lighters by like the gross, like huge containers of them, because I go through so many of them. And every room has some type of an LED flashlight and an LED lamp. Basically the easy kind that literally all you gotta do is lift it and pop the top. You don't have to fumble around for switches. So I went on Amazon, and I could buy like packs of like 4 of these lamps that are LED, fairly cheap, and they're like the size of like a small coffee can, and they have a little handle so you can hang them. But I have at least 1 of those in every room, and then I have all of our dry goods that you don't need to cook, granola bars, beef jerky, stuff like that. I mean, we do have, luckily where we live, we have a 500-gallon propane in the ground tank for the stove, fireplace. It also runs a hot water heater, but if your power's out, that's not going to work. But I'm not really too concerned with showering and stuff if the power's out. I'll just sit and stink for a week or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if worse comes to worse, my fireplace has a fan on it, and we could live in the living room, which we did when it got really cold. Turn the fireplace on and blow the air out. And like I said, we can still cook on the stove without power. Some other things, I keep all the vehicles. I'll go and fill. Like, what is today? Tuesday. Like, so tomorrow after work, I'll make sure that all of our vehicles are full, just in case we gotta leave or whatever. Gas stations are closed or whatever. So yeah, we always keep blankets in our vehicles. My hazard kits this is getting off topic. This is more just talking about daily hazards. Most people aren't prepared for a simple blowout. I typically am not a fan of going to all the trouble of putting a spare on, unless it's a sidewall injury to the tire where that can't be patched. If I get a nail or something in my tire, I actually have my own patch kits on hand with a compressor that runs through like a cigarette lighter, and I'll actually patch my tire. I've done it many times, patch it on the side of the road and blow it up and put it right back on. I do it the same way that they do in the shop. I mean, there used to be a time when they would actually take the tire off the rim, patch it from the inside, but I haven't really seen them do that in a long time. They'll just take that tar, it's like a cord that has tar on it, and they basically, you burr out the hole, jam this in, pull it down, and then you cut off the excess, and that seals a hole up. And I've done that on many a tire and never had a issue with it. So, and I keep a full, I wouldn't say it's a full size garage jack, but you know, it's a jack. You know, it's about this big with the, you know, the big handle in all of my trunks. I buy and you can buy them cheap as shit at like Harbor Freight. And I just leave one of those in the trunk because there's nothing worse than getting that little bitty jack out with, you know, on the side of a road. And, you know, it's my luck I'm going to get a flat on a gravel road where that thing's just going to basically sink into the road, because unless you have, you know, pavement underneath of it, it's just going to sink because the base on it's like this. So I always keep a jack, an air compressor, a tire replacement kit, repair kit, water, you know, flashlights, flares, blankets, you know, all that kind of stuff in a car, because you just never know what's going to happen. And nothing worse than driving by someone who's just literally just still sitting in their car because, for one, they don't even know how to change a tire, much less even going to attempt it. But yeah, as normal way of my thinking, I've gotten off topic. But anyway, yeah, I just thought I'd throw up a quick video with the storm coming and stuff. I actually, when the power went out last year because of high winds, that was like one of the best weeks ever, because you know, there's no TV, you couldn't leave. I literally just turned my oil lamps on and grabbed a book and basically just read and just decompressed. It was great. So if we get a power outage come the end of this week, you know, I'm all for it. I'll be happy just to sit and catch up on some good reading. I'm so far behind on my reading. You know, I always have like 3 or 4 books ahead of the book I'm on, just so that I don't have to have a gap in between. If you've been following me, you know that one of my projects was to build a library in my new house. I've always wanted one to put all my books in, and you know, on the weekends I'll get up about 6 o'clock and let their dogs out, and I'll just go sit in the library, and I'll usually read for an hour and a half just to start my day, and it's just a good way to ease into the day. But yeah, hopefully if you're watching this and you're on the East Coast, you're prepared for the worst. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I just got the note. I got a little email warning from my power company yesterday, saying that expect power outages to start Wednesday night. So, I'm always kind of prepared for that stuff, but it's always nice to have it in the forefront of your brain just in case it does happen. Eventually, probably in a year or so, I'm going to put in a whole house generator, like one of these Generac, I think it's called Generac, whole house generators. Basically, it's like plug and plays, where your power comes into your house. You basically get this diverter that when the power goes out, the feed comes in, it literally diverts it to the generator, and the generator just kicks on. And going back and forth between just plumbing in a propane line or going like diesel. My neighbor told me that I should probably go diesel because I have a 500-gallon tank, and he said that generator will go through that 500 gallons in like a couple days, running pretty much all your vitals in the house. So that's not good. 500 gallons of propane costs me almost $700, and I feel like I'm always playing catch up on that. I pay it kind of monthly. It's like $200 a month all year round, just to kind of catch up on when they do the deliveries, which to me just seems very random. But anyway, I've rambled on enough. Hopefully y'all have a good day, and be safe if you are on the East Coast with this big storm coming. We don't normally get them like they're calling for. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and talk to you next time. Bye.